When you fall in love, there's many powerful forces, and many of them are incredibly beautiful. I mean, love is one of the most amazing things that will ever happen in our lives, for those of us that have the grace to have experienced it. There are some elements, though, that drive us to choose people, to stay in relationships, and sometimes we even make poor choices in partners. And one of them, I find, is the fear of being alone. Now, it happens on many different levels, sometimes subtle, sometimes very powerful for people. But if you have a little bit of that inkling, that fear of being alone, it's most likely affecting your decisions, especially when it comes to love. And so it's really important to examine this area. So one of the things I might say that is a good indicator is serial monogamy. That's pretty much, if you've been in back-to-back relationships for periods of your life, tend to get into relationships very quickly, that's a sign that you could be afraid of being alone. If at the end of a relationship, sometimes you struggle with getting out of relationships, or you leave a relationship and you are alone and you come back really quickly. Now there could be a lot of reasons for that, but one of them can be driven by your fear of being alone. And sometimes when we're dating, for those of us that are afraid of being alone, we choose poorly. We choose somebody because they're fun, or we have a good time with them, and we enjoy being with them, but it may not be that they're the right person for you, and sometimes that motivation is driven by the fear of being alone. Now, there's this desperate quality, a neediness almost, when we're in love and we also are afraid of being alone. We need this person, versus I want this person because they add to our lives. And so there's sometimes this desperate quality that you can touch into. Another way to experiment with this is one, maybe you can turn the radio off temporarily while you're driving to work for 20 minutes, half hour, hour, whatever it is. And just notice what it's like to not have that music fill in that space. Have you ever gone out alone and done something? Or do you avoid it? Or do you just not even think about it? Why don't you try going out and do something alone? Like whether it's an hour, go to the park. Don't bring a book. Don't bring your iPod, your iPhone. Don't check your email. And just be with yourself. Go for a walk. Whatever the case might be. And be curious about this experience. Is it comfortable? It's a little uncomfortable. How are you with solitude? So this comes more into what actually I feel I want people to work on, is I want you to work on your comfort with solitude. The better relationship you have with yourself, the better relationship you're going to be able to have with other people. The healthier and the stronger relationships you're going to have in your future. So this is something to work on, whether you're in a relationship right now or you're not in a relationship. One thing I think it's kind of funny to say, but it's so good, is date yourself. When's the last time you made yourself a really nice dinner instead of somebody that you love? When's the last time you thought of something really interesting to do that you care about and you didn't think about somebody else, but just something you really care about, and you took the time and energy to plan it and make it happen for yourself? Now, we do these things so effortlessly when we're dating, but we rarely do them to ourselves. And I recommend that you do that. And then A, notice, be curious about your comfort level, and then B, if you're a little uncomfortable with these things, do them more frequently. Allow yourself the time to be alone and have solitude. And remember, no phones, no books, no distractions. Just spend time alone. Maybe you need to start with shorter periods of time. Maybe just 10-minute walk by yourself. Maybe it becomes 30 minutes. But the desire to do this comes from our own comfort with ourselves, and that's something that I encourage everyone to have, that kind of level of freedom and liberation, because that will allow you to expand your life and have cleaner, sweeter love with the people that you choose to have it with. Thank you.